Well, hello. Welcome in. We're ready for another episode of What's New Wednesday. A lot has happened as usual in the world of big time this week. Some things I didn't expect, some things I kind of did expect. But we're here for it. What are we going to be talking about this week for our What's New Wednesday episode? Token price pumped all the way back up to 45 cents, which honestly I didn't really expect to see, but we had a new special crafting event similar to the Christmas and the Lunar New Year crafting event happen again with the literally back-to-back week after week. So what's that going to do for the token price? As we've established that seems to be pretty connected. So token price pumped up. We have the week 6 weekly crafting events that are live this week, and then there was also a huge change to cracked hourglass dismantling and how spaces work. So that's a huge thing. And then finally there was a midweek madness announcement that's going until tomorrow, the 29th, that I don't think really anybody's going to be happy about, but we'll talk about it. Token price, that's what we're going to be talking about first. So last Wednesday we had just finished several crafting events, the Lunar New Year one, and then also there was a double leaderboard one, and we saw the token price react to that really intensely, go all the way down from about 30 cents up to 45 cents. Since then, last Wednesday we were sitting around 36 cents, and we weren't really sure what to expect. I thought maybe we would range between 36 cents and 40 cents, 39 cents here for a bit, and we did for a few days here. If you're looking at the daily candles, you can see that about 4 days, but then behold, Big Time announces a new special crafting event with all the double leaderboard points that the Christmas one and the Lunar New Year one has brought, and we saw, an instant sort of reaction to that as usual. The first part of the crafting event, you had to craft 2 rare shields, and that took a while. So I think the crafting event was announced on the 23rd. Once it started to get to the point where we were going to be crafting the epics, that's where we really saw the price action happen. And then the legendaries that crafted today caused a huge amount of price fluctuation. We did see that affect the token price quite a bit. If we go check out the 4 hour for a second, here's last Wednesday. Expected us to kind of range between here, but then the crafting event was announced on the 23rd, and we saw some accumulation start to happen, mainly in preparation for the epic and legendary crafts. People weren't too interested in the rare crafts, so you kind of see that rare crafts, boom, epic craft, legendary craft, right? So we saw some price fluctuation in the token there because of that. What do we expect going for the next week? I would probably expect us to range between 36 cents and 45 cents, but the crafting event is over, so we'll see if we can hold the support of 39 cents. I have a feeling we might end up ranging down and bouncing off of the support line around 36 cents for a bit this upcoming week. But, Big Time's always throwing curveballs, and those curveballs can definitely affect the token price. Like throwing these special crafting events in, everybody wants those double leaderboard points, so it is what it is. Next, so yeah, we'll jump right into talking about that special crafting event. The 23rd is when the first part of the event was announced. As always with these special crafting events, double leaderboard points to all craftable items from this event will yield double leaderboard points. Same thing as all the other events. You have to craft out the initial craft in order for the next craft to become available. So initially there was these 2 rares, and the way that the diagram looks kind of makes you think, oh, well, you need both of these rare shields to craft the epic that's coming next, right? Because it usually just goes up 1 rarity at a time. So epic shield coming next. This is a shield crafting event. Maybe we need both rares. So a lot of people, myself included, we crafted 2 rares just to be better safe than sorry kind of a situation. Turns out you didn't need the previous shields to craft the epic. It was just different in that there was 2 starting items, 2 initial rares, and usually it's just 1 rare, but they added 2 in there just because they wanted to, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I unfortunately was sleeping when the epic became craftable, and it became craftable at about 11:50 a.m. that day, which was the 27th, and I was just asleep. I woke up at 1:30 and it had already been crafted out. So the epic crafted out in a couple minutes or a couple hours, and I was really upset. I was fully prepared to at least craft a couple epics. That was my plan. I'm gonna craft a couple epics. That's gonna really boost me up on the leaderboard. leaderboard. It's gonna be great. Double leaderboard points. So excited. Failed. Didn't get to, and I was like, okay, like I'm sad about that, but you know, there's gonna be a legendary to craft, and I'll definitely craft a legendary. But here's the kicker. You see this little area here? This little thing here with the question mark? We figured there was something to do with, oh, you have to run some prestige dungeons, probably get schematics, because schematics were just kind of introduced and announced kind of recently this past week. So we were like, okay, probably need a schematic for it. So I woke up the moment that the event was live. I was grinding dungeons trying to get a schematic. In order to get a schematic, you have to, in a prestige dungeon, roll to get the actual specific schematic too. It's not just anyone. It has to be Time Traveler's Shield schematic or something like that. So we were rolling for it, and we were getting that roll and trying to get those schematics, but they just kept dropping to everyone else. And they said that, you know, you could get the schematic from an epoch chest. So I was opening epoch chests and not having any luck. The reality is I didn't get that schematic before the 500 supply minted out, and I was a little surprised how fast the legendary was minting out, was crafting out, even with this requirement for the schematics. So some people must have just like had it really dialed in, and they got to craft them all, and the rest of us who weren't able to get a schematic to drop just watched them all disappear and cried deep down inside. Anyways, so that's the new special crafting event. Happened back to back from the lunar event. Kind of took me by surprise that it was even happening. The reality is that when double leaderboard points are on the line, these kinds of things craft out really quickly. Everybody wants it. We also have the week 6 weekly crafting event challenge. Pretty simple. If you loot an NFT in the game this week, you get 1500 leaderboard points extra. If you apply a golden roll 3 times to crafting any armor of any rarity, you get 3000 leaderboard points. And then lastly, recharge an hourglass of legendary or higher to get a reward of 7500 leaderboard points. To me, honestly, this was kind of a smack in the face. How many people really have legendary hourglasses? We've basically deduced that, yeah, the amount of legendary hourglasses has increased by about 600 or 700 supply in the past few weeks, but like not everybody has a legendary hourglass. Are you kidding me? So this one was just kind of like, seriously? Okay, I don't really like this crafting event. It kind of just made me annoyed to see. And this one goes from the 26th till March the 3rd. If you have a legendary hourglass, make sure you throw that on the charger. Super great. Love it. So we're gonna backtrack a little bit. On the 23rd, Big Time put out a Medium article / update, and it was a big one. Threw the whole cracked hourglass dismantling meta on its head. A lot of people got burned on this one. We're gonna talk about it. First of all, value of your hourglasses changed. So a common is now worth 5 Big Time. A uncommon is now worth 15. A rare is worth 25, which is more than it was. And an epic is worth 35, which is worth more than it was. So some differences there, but the reality is that most people had lots of common cracked hourglasses that they basically lost more than 50% of the value of those cracked hourglasses. So that was a really tough one for people, and there's even more changes. So on top of the fact that the value of each cracked hourglass is different now, the rarity of your space and the size of your space now determines when your cracked hourglasses will drop in your metaverse. So if you have a rare small space, it'll take 72 hours for cracked hourglasses to appear. An exalted small space, then it will take 48 hours. So huge differences there. What that, resulted in is that people who had just been stacking like lots and lots and lots of small rare space now kind of got screwed over a little bit, because if you were stacking epic small, legendary small, mythic small, or the larger mediums or large spaces, then you would be getting hourglasses more frequently. But all this is just one new layer. There's another layer for cracked hourglasses now that's just thrown everybody for a loop, and that is the fact that depending on how many decorations you have in your space, that will determine the quantity and the rarity that drops. So if you have no furniture in your space, you might get 0, you might get 1. I've never had a lot of decorations. I was planning on picking up decorations for the seasonal challenge, crafting challenges, or whatever. They said that if you bought 10 rare items from the market, that would give you 10,000 leaderboard points. Well, I was hoping to buy some rare furniture, but with this change, there was a huge hype bubble that happened with decorations. We saw decorations prices basically 10x since this announcement. Since then, it's kind of settled down. There's like a new floor, a new bottom. But yeah, decorations are worth a lot more now. So if you are one of the people who has been collecting decorations over the past several months, you're sitting pretty. But if not, then you're like me and you're kicking yourself and you wish you had more decorations. It is what it is. The last thing is the Midweek Madness event. It's kind of a weird one. I don't think anybody's really going to be happy about this one. For the 5th Midweek Madness event, these events are designed to shake things up, so get ready. So the Madness effect that is going from now until like tomorrow evening, essentially like Thursday, Friday-ish. All portals will require time crystals to apply bonuses instead of mod chips. Note, it will take some time for these new types of portals to appear, so keep an eye out for them. I'm not happy about this. This is like honestly the worst, because for the first time ever in this game, we finally actually been able to like consistently loot mod chips. So everybody has looted like hundreds or thousands of prestige portal mod chips, normal portal mod chips, so that they can roll modifiers on dungeons. And then a big time's gone and literally just made it so that you can't use all those mod chips. Seems kind of like a smack in the face, personally. I don't understand why they would do this. It just seems like they were like, oh, well, we want more money and you guys are putting too much work into farming the mod chips that give us money, so we've decided to get that income some other way. So we're just gonna force you to pay time crystals if you want bonus rolls on your dungeon. So I don't think any player is really happy about this Midweek Madness event, and I guess maybe they kind of feel like, yeah, so what, screw you, because it's a madness effect. It doesn't necessarily have to be good, right? So I feel like they like intentionally did this to kind of screw people over, and they felt justified doing it because it's a Midweek Madness effect. It doesn't need to be a good thing, right? So that's about it for this week's What's New Wednesday. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be back next week. If you're watching this in the future, make sure you throw down a subscription, a like, a follow, and as always, make sure you guys tell your moms about it. And I'll talk to you guys next week.